Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here, and welcome to another episode of Jambareeqi Orange, the show where I let my patrons decide what I review. The options for this month's episode included Batman and Robin, Memoirs of an Invisible Man, Beowulf, Playmobil the Movie, A Scanner Darkly, Abominable, Batman, aka Bruce Wayne, and Robin, aka Dick Grayson, are having trouble in their partnership because Batman is being too protective of Robin. Their teamwork is tested when they come face to face with two new villains. First, Mr. Freeze, aka Victor Freeze, a scientist who ended up in a tragic accident which caused him to depend on cold temperatures to survive, and is now stealing diamonds in a bid to cure his wife's disease, McGregor syndrome. Second, we have Dr. Pamela Isley, a botanist who uncovers her boss Dr. Jason Woodrow's secret experiments on prisoners, including his newest creation, Bane the Superhuman. To silence her, Jason attempts to murder Pamela by overturning a shelf of toxins onto her, but the chemicals actually transform her into the supervillain Poison Ivy. Ivy uses her new powers to pit Batman and Robin against each other, by using pheromones to entrance them into falling in love with her, which causes them to fight over Ivy. Ivy and Bane team up with Mr. Freeze, and they plan to turn the whole of Gotham into ice, by transforming a giant telescope into a freeze ray. Meanwhile, Alfred's niece Barbara comes to stay at the Wayne Mansion too. She spends her nights betting on herself in motorbike races, and when Robin catches her using his bike, she explains that she's saving up to help cure Alfred's McGregor's disease, a condition that the butler has kept secret from his masters. When Barbara uncovers the truth about Dick and Bruce, that they're really Batman and Robin, she volunteers to help the dynamic duo by donning her own suit and calling herself Batgirl. This film is considered by many to be the definitive bad superhero movie, the worst of the worst comic book films. But do I think it lives up to such a reputation? Oh, totally. This isn't just a bad Batman film, it's a bad film in general. You see, a toy company had a major supervising role behind this movie. They wanted to make sure that the film catered to their marketing desires, and the end result is a feature-length toy commercial. The film is far from discreet or nuanced about this either.
I'm a lover, not a fighter. That's why every Poison Ivy action figure comes complete with him.
First movie, things felt much sharper and more focused, and it just felt like everything got a little softer on the second one. The first one, I felt like I was making a movie. The second one, I felt like I was making a toy commercial. We involved the toy company. We let them look and be involved in how the Batmobile was going to look, how Batman's gadgets were going to be, which they wanted. This is key to them. They need a lot of lead time.
A lot of the movie was directed and cut in a way that would have made it easy for companies to snip out a clip and place it into their commercial.
Batman and Robin face up to their most chilling challenge, the awesomely evil Mr. Freeze and his super cool strut racer. But new Blastwing Batman flies in, and with Robin on his sizzling cycle, they send Freeze to the cooler. Then with new recruit Batgirl, the triumphant trio repel the toxic terror of Poison Ivy. Batman, Robin, and Batgirl united against a new evil.
The movie's overall quality is sacrificed in the process, because everything is designed to fit advertisement standards. And we all know that commercials are renowned for lacking subtlety. Director Joel Schumacher also went into this film with an emphasis on a cartoony Batman, much like the 60s Batman series. But that TV show wasn't like this movie at all. It was a great balance of smart and silly, using dry wit to show a tongue-in-cheek self-awareness. Plus it had cleverly written jokes that the cast delivered expertly.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Batman and Robin's humor is corny at best. The comedic dialogue reminds me of the kinds of zingers you'd find in a Christmas cracker, or a cheesy joke book in a bargain bin. Each actor performing their banter with an uncertainty of tone and slow timing.
Can't believe we were fighting over a bad guy.
Bad, yes. Guy, no.
Well, I'm totally over, all right? Positively.
Me too, definitely. Great stems, though.
Buds, too.
Yeah, those are nice.
The film misses the point of 60s Batman entirely, disrespecting the show under the misguided assumption that it was just a goofy old television series, when really, it was ahead of its time. It appears that the main direction for this movie is make it as ridiculous as possible. There's zero restraint, no holds barred. The movie goes all out in every single aspect. The problem with this is, if you have no line drawn for what's too much, you end up with a film that goes overboard and doesn't know when to say stop, resulting in an overwhelming experience for audiences. The villain's acting is maybe the biggest victim to all of this excessiveness. It's supposed to be cartoony acting, but it's unnatural and awkward more than anything. The film is lucky that the sets are over-decorated, because these actors are gorging on each one like they're in a timed hot dog eating contest.
If I can only find the correct dose of venom, these plants will be able to fight back like animals. I will have given Flora a chance against the thoughtless ravages of man.
George Clooney's Batman / Bruce Wayne may be toned down compared to the villains, but he's too flat. This is maybe because he had to jump between the ER and Batman and Robin sets every week, which really shows, because he seems very tired. He's also having trouble getting into the Bruce Wayne or Batman characters, playing both as just George Clooney.
Who invited you?
I was just hanging around.
I thought you were going to stay in the museum, round up some thugs.
How about nice to see you? Glad you're here to save my life?
Although, to be fair, with Clooney playing himself, he does a decent job conveying Bruce Wayne the celebrity.
My father once told me to succeed we need only pick a star and follow it. And so Wayne Enterprises is donating the world's most advanced telescope to Gotham's Observatory Restoration Project. With any luck, this telescope will give future generations a chance to follow their own stars.
Only Michael Gough's acting comes off as natural, bringing an emotional depth to a film that lacks a lot of nuance. He really is one of the only things about the Schumacher movies that's grounded and respectable.
Alfred, have you ever regretted your life working here?
Looking after heroes? No, sir. My only regret is that I was never able to be out there with you.
The film centers a lot on the trust issues between Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson, with Bruce being too protective of the boy wonder, letting the loss of his parents worry if he'll lose Dick too. While it's understandable for Robin to be annoyed at this, Chris O'Donnell continues to overplay the teenager's whininess. Yes, teens can sulk and moan, it's realistic, but this is overdoing it, and makes Robin a really aggravating hero to put up with.
I mean, that's your idea of friendship, isn't it, Bruce? It's your house, it's your rules. I mean, it's your way or the highway. It's Batman and Robin, not Robin and Batman. And I'm sick of it.
Even before he's under Ivy's spell, he's saying annoying things like this.
I want a car. Chicks dig the car.
What could have been an emotional journey of understanding for these two is turned into a nonsensical back and forth. She's mine! No, she's mine! Mine! Mine!
Why do you think she's so desperate to kiss us? I'm betting her lips are poisoned.
Poison kiss? You got some real issues with women, you know that? You just couldn't stand it she was gonna kiss me and not you. Couldn't stand it something was gonna be mine and not yours, could you?
You can show two characters going for a rough relationship without making them argue incessantly. Heck, the way we look at someone we're annoyed at can say so much. Now, while the film is mainly trying to be a family-friendly, cartoony Batman, it does also try to be serious sometimes too. But the problem is, you can't easily slide dramatic moments into a film this silly, because the end result is extremely tone-deaf. Like, it's hard to get emotionally invested in Freeze's grief over his wife when a goofy comedic gag is thrown into the same scene.
Excuse me, Chief. I got something here you might want to see. I hate when people talk during the movie.
And as brilliant as Michael Gough's acting is, his whole dying Alfred plotline suffers because of Clooney's lackluster acting as Bruce.
I love you, old man.
And I love you too.
This is a film that's gone from bat nipples and bat credit card to old man dying? It's a lot to ask the audiences to suddenly feel emotions after being bombarded with mindless ridiculousness. Yes, it's great to finally see Bruce coming to terms with death, but it seems so out of place in a movie like this. The film is wanting to have its cake and eat it too. Trying to be a mindless, over-the-top, cartoony superhero film that doesn't take itself too seriously, but also a subdued drama about family grief and illness, never achieving combining both into one movie. It's like eating ice cream covered in chili powder. The introduction of Batgirl is actually quite unnecessary. She's only here to expand the toy line demographic to little girls. You could honestly take her out of the film and not much would change. I have nothing against women superheroes in films. Nothing at all. I actively encourage it. But Batgirl is mainly here for cynical marketing reasons, and it really shows. Sure, her bond with her uncle is cute, but in terms of the main story, Barbara doesn't have a personal stake with these villains. So when she's introduced as Batgirl, it doesn't make much of an impact, because she's had nothing to do with Ivy and Freeze. She's never even mentioned Batman, let alone the villains. Sure, Freeze has the cure to stage 1 McGregor's, which should mean a lot to her. But it's Bruce who eventually convinces Freeze to provide the medicine. Plus, Alicia Silverstone, an actress I usually love, is just as sleepy as George Clooney here.
And you are?
Batgirl.
That's not awfully PC. What about bad person or bad woman?
Bruce, it's me, Barbara.
Now, despite every single complaint I have made in this review, please know that I actually love this movie. Yes, I'm not joking or being sarcastic, this movie brings me so much joy and happiness. If you know me, you'll be aware that I'm a sucker for campy bad movies, and Batman and Robin fits this to a T. While Batman Forever tried to be camp, it did it in a more loud and obnoxious way, with Jim Carrey trying way too hard to be funny, and Tommy Lee Jones shouting his lines like a dog with rabies.
Have the good taste to die! See ya!
Batman and Robin is a better kind of camp to me, an endearing flamboyant theatricality that brings a smile to my face. Yes, the film is shallow, superficial, cynical, and tonally inconsistent, but I can't help laughing at the whole spectacle. From a woefully miscast Schwarzenegger bringing a goofy enthusiasm to his role.
Can you be cold, Batman? You have 11 minutes to thaw a bird. What will you do? Chase the villain? Or save the boy? Your emotions make you weak. That's why this day is mine.
To Uma Thurman acting like she's in the Rocky Horror Picture Show or a John Waters movie.
I am nature's arm. Her spirit. Her will. Hell, I am Mother Nature.
Couple this with Joel Schumacher's unrestrained direction, the hilariously erotic rubber costumes, and the cheesy one-liners.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
Then you have the kind of bad movie that I live for. Sweet nectar for my queer tastes. As terrible as this film is, I had fun. I was entertained. I never felt the need to pause the film out of boredom. Shh! Don't tell anyone how much I love you. It's wrong. It's forbidden. It's naughty. I'll openly acknowledge how broken and misdirected this movie is. It's not good. Plus, I don't blame fans for despising how much it disrespects the DC comics. But I cannot find it in myself to hate it, because it's helped cheer me up when I felt blue, and brought me a sense of happiness that Batman Forever never gave. I've been Jambareeqi and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then feel free to like, subscribe and share. So what am I going to be reviewing in the next episode of Jambareeqi Orange? Well, that's entirely up to my patrons. The options for next month's episode include A Quiet Place, Mulan, Batman Begins, Trolls, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, How to Train Your Dragon, Homecoming. Pretty awesome selection right there. Now, don't forget that you have to become a patron in order to access this poll. What is a patron? Don't worry, I'll explain. This is my Patreon. It's a site for my fans to support me financially on through a monthly basis. Those who donate are called patrons. Patrons can donate as much as they want and are welcome to stop donating anytime. In return for their generosity, patrons are given exciting rewards based on their pledge amount. These rewards include early access to my videos before they go up publicly on YouTube, behind the scenes content, their name in the end credits of my videos, a chance to request a review of anything at all, and much more. Very excited to find out which film my patrons pick. Cheerio, folks.